Hey everybody, it's me, Gregor Manarino. How are you today? It is Wednesday, May 17th, 2017. People, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on here, and I'm going to ask for your attention in this video because there's a lot going on, and we need to talk about it. So, let's start off with this. Last night, we saw some very interesting action with regard to the futures market. We had a big sell-off with regard to stock futures. We had a huge amount of cash move into the bond market. I did a video about this. I wrote an article on Steemit about it. And I said we needed to pay attention to that action. Well, as I am doing this video blog, it's early. The stock market is open. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down over 240 points. We need to pay attention to this, people, because there's another factor in here that I don't think is getting enough attention, and I'll talk about that right now. We just found out that mortgage applications just fell off of a cliff, plunging by over 4%. Now, we all realize, unless you live on another planet, that housing is in a bubble, just like the stock market is in a bubble. We may be seeing a set of events here fall into place that could cause all of this to finally correct to fair value. Understand, every bubble that we have is supported by another bubble. And I have said for years that when this starts to go, we're going to see bubble pop, bubble pop, bubble pop simultaneously. Okay? Now, if you were to pay attention to the mainstream financial channels, the mainstream media, they're going to try to sell you the idea that what we're seeing right now is because of political uncertainty related to President Trump. I'm here to tell you that that is a complete lie and it is fake news. What this feels like to me as a professional market person is a capitulation. Now, just to push this point home, how would President Trump's political trouble right now, whatever it may or may not be, have anything to do with mortgage applications? You understand? So the narrative that they're trying to sell you is wrong. They're always wrong. They're cheerleaders. I'm here to tell you the straight out truth, period. And we need to pay attention to this, people. The action that we've been seeing here in the dollar, a hardcore sell-off. As a matter of fact, the dollar has lost all of its gains that it put on since the election. That is tremendous here, okay? We had a huge sell-off in commodities recently, and I explained to you, when you have that kind of action, it tells you that the global economy is frankly sick. It's sick. It's not in any kind of recovery like the mainstream wants you to believe. There's also this false narrative about housing, how there's not enough inventory. Let me explain something to you. My neighborhood here, it's decent. It's not, ultra rich. It's definitely not poor. But there are many homes in my area that have been for sale for quite a long time. So this garbage that they're trying to fist feed you, that there's not enough inventory, this is a lie, okay? They want you to believe and feel comfortable, just like last time, that you should go out today and buy a house. If you do that, you're asking for trouble, especially in light of what we just found out with regard to mortgage applications. We are not existing in a real environment, people, and we need to correct to fair value. Speaking of correcting to fair value, once in a while, I get it right. Last night, yesterday, just prior to the market close, I took up two naked positions, one against the S&P 500, unhedged, and one against Morgan Stanley, unhedged. So you can imagine, right now, I am substantially richer than I was even when I woke up today. And that just pushes home the narrative that this cash that everyone's losing in the stock market right now doesn't go to money heaven. It goes to people like me that know how to play the game. And I don't want this to happen to you. I cannot put this into a more clear light that what we're seeing right now is a setup. The Federal Reserve is nothing more than a serial bubble blower, and this is done on purpose to enrich people like me. You understand? I trade exactly like an investment bank. I can promise you that Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, you want to go down the line here, they're all smiling today like I am, because they're smart enough to know what this market's going to do before it does it, or just about when it's going to do it. So everyone out there that's watching their 401k plans kind of evaporate today, and if this progresses, they're going to see a lot more losses. People like me are going to be happy, and the rest of the people out there are going to be very unhappy. So take it from me, from a guy who's trying to tell you as straight as I possibly can that this system is rigged against you in every way you can possibly imagine that it's rigged against you, and even in ways you can't imagine that it's rigged against you. And I can promise you we're going to see something else. Just like last time, this issue with mortgages here, applications falling off of a cliff, these major banks are well aware that housing is in a bubble, and they're going to bet against those assets just like they did last time. You remember Goldman Sachs paid a relatively small fine for being caught red-handed doing that? They're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. They're going to get away with it. Nobody's going to be held accountable just like last time. Please, do not let yourself get caught on the wrong side of this. Now, look, I'm not saying 100% that what we're seeing right now is the beginning of the correction to fair value, but it very well may be. Again, look at the action that we have been seeing. This weakness in the dollar is a huge tell. I just talked about this yesterday. Look what's happening now. The yield curve, something I also talked about yesterday on my Steemit blog. I put a picture up there. I showed you the flattening curve. I tried to put some light on this for you so you can understand what this means. We're in no recovery. There is no recovery here, people. I don't care what the mainstream is trying to fist feed you in every possible crack you have. Okay, it's not real. This whole thing is twisted and distorted and is going to correct to fair value. Is the plunge protection team going to jump in here like they did the last time we had a kind of a meltdown like today? They very well may do that. But I can promise you there's going to be a time where they're not going to do that. And why? Because it's a wealth transfer, people. They want everyone that they can get into this market. They want everyone that they can get to buy a house to buy one. Then, when they're ready, bam, they pull the plug. Then starts the transfer of wealth from the middle class, more than likely you, to the upper echelon of society, or people that know how to take advantage of what is going on. I am one of those people. So take it from me if you don't take it from anybody else. I'm telling you this is what's going to happen. And I am warning you that that is what's going to happen. None of what we're seeing, of what we're witnessing right now is real across the spectrum of asset classes. There is no price discovery mechanism behind one asset, period, the end. This is going to correct to fair value at one point. I don't know when it's going to be. This could be the beginning. It may not be the beginning. But you got to get yourself ready for this. You should become your own central bank. Be betting against this debt. You know that. Look for alternative sources of wealth like cryptocurrencies. Period. I can't stress these things enough. You got to get out of the dollar. It is a debt unit. That's all it is. I don't know another way to put all this, people, and I hope you are taking me seriously at this point. Look, for all I know, this 200-plus point in the market could turn around, but it might not turn around either. There's going to be a point, and I don't know when that is, okay? Could be now, could be 5 years from now, but it's going to happen. We need to keep an eye on this, and I'll tell you something. Look at what's going on here with housing. How do we know it's in a bubble? I've been talking about this for the longest time. When any asset moves above the ability for the average person on an average salary to afford it, you have a bubble. And that's what we have here in housing. It is a clear bubble that has been reinflated on the back of a debt bubble, which is the greatest threat to humankind because it's a resource problem. Cannot stress this enough. I know I'm getting a little bent out of shape here, but I am doing my ultimate best and trying my hardest to put a light on this for all of you in a way that you can understand this, because you need to protect yourselves. Look, I got your back. I got your back, and I mean this. I don't have to do this blog. I don't have to. I made more money today in this market than I even want to talk about. Going short this market yesterday, buying my naked put against the S&P, buying my naked put against Morgan Stanley. So believe me, I do not need to do this blog. I do this because I genuinely care about you. I genuinely want you to understand what is going on here. And I'm putting myself kind of in a bad light, telling you that I'm capitalizing on what's going on here in this market. Look, you guys do what you want to do, all right? But you need to start paying attention to these things. Watch that bond market. Watch what's happening to the U.S. dollar. Look at what's happening here in the real estate market. I mean, this is almost many echoes, and I wrote an article about this too on my Steam It blog, echoes of the 2008 meltdown. So pay attention here, people. And just one more thing. I'm not even asking you to join Steam It anymore. If you want to, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. Follow my work on Steam It. There's a link in the description of this video if you are watching it on YouTube. And you need to pay attention to that because I write a lot of articles. I don't just do videos like this. It'll keep you right on top of what's going on here. Look, I think I have covered some very serious things here, and I put this into a perspective that I hope you can understand. If you think that's true, please give me a thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube. Please give me an upvote if you're watching this on Steam, and share these things. Get this video out there. Let people understand what's going on here. What potentially could unfold here, people, is a crash, a correction to fair value much worse than we saw during the 2008 event. All right, look, I'm going to end this video. I know it's been kind of long, but I think it has been very informative. With that said, see you tomorrow.